Well, howdy, y'all. This here's your Guardian. Back today to talk about UOGamers Hybrid. Is it safe or is it a scam? Today, this is going to be the full review. In my last video, we kind of looked to the past a little bit because, Hybrid, when it launched, this latest relaunch, they didn't really advertise, so, I didn't really know about it until, it had already started and it was going on for a couple of months or a few months, so basically, I had to kind of look at historical references for, how things went on Hybrid in the past to kind of review the shard, but then I had comments saying, you should check the shard out too, and then give it a full review, and so that's what this video is. And so, I played UOGamers Hybrid, and in the future, I think, this is Season 2 right now, and my next video that's upcoming is going to be the finale, the Season 2 finale. So definitely, if you haven't subscribed already, subscribe, and, like the video if you like the video, and that sort of thing, because my next video is going to be the season finale, and it's going to be talking about New Legacy and, Ultima Online, Lord British, and his legacy, so it should be a good video, and I'm looking forward to making it, actually. I've been planning this video for a long time, so. In terms of UOGamers Hybrid, now, I played the game. I went to Ryan's house for supper. Okay, not really, but that's how it feels when you're playing UOGamers Hybrid. Let me show you what I mean. One of the first things that you're going to come across when you're looking for, a good house spot could be this, this large house spot that's right, the closest house spot to Westbrit Bank. And, you're going to find Ryan's tower there. It kind of reminds me of Adamant when we launched Siege Perilous. His priority seemed to be placing his house in a spot that was the most nostalgic for him, right? So that seemed to be a priority for him, and, it also seems to be a priority for Ryan, because he used to have, I think, a large marble here, and now it's a tower, so, you're going to walk into Britain, and then you're going to see, what is this? Oh, it's a grave. It's a grave for Ryan's father, so, I'm very sorry that he passed away, but, to have a graveyard right here in Britain for your father is kind of something that, if you look at this guard right here is the family guard, so there's an NPC back here that's invulnerable, and it just stands there. And, there's a grave there, and, It's something that I've thought of in the past. I recently had a dog that passed away, and, I thought about maybe putting a little grave for him on my test shard or something like that, but ultimately I decided against it because, especially on a live shard or something like that, it kind of takes away from the immersion, right? Like, it also feels like this is the family guard, is what it's called. So it's like, I guess this is the family server, like, I don't know. That's what I mean, it feels like you're going to Ryan's house for supper. Let's take a look. Here's one of Ryan's characters. This is one of, it mentions in the rules that players, or the game master's staff, are going to have player characters, right? I think this is one of them. Sir Ryan of you, he's got this unique hued robe. If you click on it, it says it's Ryan's robe, right? Ryan's apron, Ryan's mask, I'm surprised it doesn't say Ryan's katana, but, everything else is blessed, and it's probably newbie or something. It's probably just a newbie katana, which he probably does pretty well with, and we're going to get into that, but these are some of the things that I discovered while I was playing UOGamers Hybrid. I recently had a character of mine named Ape Packhorse get disconnected during PvP, and something, it's not something that's unique to my experience. Lots of players have been saying that they've been having disconnects even in PvP. I've seen that reported, and we've been trying as players to get a handle on the disconnects. namely, you know, trying things like in CUO for CUO users. If you in the options, there's toggle FPS when you're reduce FPS when the screen is minimized. If you untoggle that, you may have less disconnects. That's the one thing that we found out, but you know, the disconnects just kept happening, right? And you know, it wasn't. So that was one thing. Another thing I thought was interesting is that, you know, shortly after I joined the shard, there was this trust section of the Discord that got started by the staff, and I'm just going to show you this this trust section right now. Let's take a look at it together here. So just one sec. I basically recorded, you know, what the trust section looks like for a little video that I made. So here it is here. Okay, welcome to Trust. It says, Ryan says, in the spirit of transparency, we will do our best to share reasons for account terminations going forward. So it's just the server information, and it says Trust. So it's for sharing reasons for account terminations going forward. Although I think some accounts might have been terminated that we didn't have any information about it. Or actually, you know, I think those were mostly Discord bans. So, you know, that might not be covered. But this originally started as a Discord ban. It says, well, account termination is extremely rare. We do want to be transparent with the community about why we make some of the decisions we make. So it starts with when. Yesterday, on the 30th of September 2024, the decision was made to ban AGA from Discord and subsequently the game. Okay, so violations. Rule B, attempting to gather data about UOGamers user accounts. Okay, and then Rule C also was violated. Inappropriate interactions with staff members. Okay, and we'll take a look at Rule C in a minute here. Excuse me, but let's just scroll down a little bit here in the video. It says information. AGA was sending malicious links, which appear to be direct links from the UOGamers website, in an attempt to gather account information and or potentially other information from players. When AGA was banned from the Discord, he evaded the ban, started his foul-mouthed attacks on the staff members of the server, and then proceeded to carry that over into the game. Okay. Punishments. All accounts associated with AGA were terminated permanently. Right? Why? Well, the safety of our community is one of our number one goals, right? I'm not sure if he's talking about PvP or not, but it looks like AGA was doing pretty good at that. We'll get into that, though. It says, we take that goal seriously, community safety. If someone is sending malicious links to our players, and then when confronted about it, decides to go on a foul-mouthed attack against staff members, it's necessary to terminate their service. Relevant information. Well, not necessary. In an attempt to be transparent, we're offering this screenshot of the many different items that showcases bad behavior. But it actually just looks like one screenshot. It's a screenshot of AGA posting something at midnight. https://net.freetext.live/s. I don't know, you know, is that a phishing link? It's apparently it goes to something that looks like maybe it goes to UOGamers site or something like that. But it's hard to say exactly what AGA was doing. Okay, if he was phishing, let's say, for, you know, UOGamers user accounts, well, why, you have to think, why would AGA be doing that, right? It's interesting for AGA to do something like that because, you know, he's just a PvPer, right? He just logs in to find action and he just wants to PvP, and that's pretty much it. I've watched AGA play for a long time, and he just PvPs, right? So, you know, and he does well. Let me show you. you know, this is, I'm not sure if I brought this up, but let's take a look. I have a screenshot of the PvP leaderboard for duelists, and, oh, here it is. Let's open that up. You can see that Egg has actually done quite well for himself on Hybrid. Although I'm not sure I really understand the scoring for this. Let's take a look here. Puka at the top there, you know, 479 wins, 329 losses. Okay, so 150 more wins than losses. Then, you know, then there's Aga, and he's got, I think, like 90 or something. 89 or 91 more wins than losses. Maybe 89. But then, you know, you look at this Kakashi Hatake, and they only have like 14 more wins than losses, and they're in 3rd place. So I guess maybe it matters, like, you know, what the rank is of the person that you're beating or something. I'm not exactly sure how it works, but either way, you know, you can see Aga is right there at the top, and, you know, right behind Puka, right? And so this is interesting. You know, definitely keep this in mind, that it just kind of looks funny to me that they had to kick Aga right out of the game, you know, for fishing. It's kind of hard to fish while you're in the game. You know, you can't really send a link. Somebody would have to type the whole thing in, right? I guess maybe that varies from client to client, depending on how the journal works. But, you know, for one thing, it just kind of makes them seem like pussies on UOG, right? Like, on Hybrid. Most of the players that are playing there aren't, you know, elites from the past. Like, it's, you know, there's some players from the past who are clearly veterans, but they're also, you know, either rusty or just, like, they don't have it in them anymore, because it just feels like everyone's always hiding behind numbers, or they're hiding behind insane pet damage, or weird pet abilities from Age of Shadows, which kind of makes sense. The shard is called Hybrid because it's a hybrid of gameplay, of combat rule sets between UO Renaissance and Age of Shadows. At least that's how it seems. I'm guessing that bolas are from Age of Shadows. I'm not really clear on my history of, you know, Ultima past the classical eras, UOR and T2A, and before that. But, you know, they have pets that can heal you, and when the heal goes off, you know, it's like healing with bandages. But then finally, when the heal happens, your pet doesn't need to be anywhere near you. Really, like, I don't even think it needs to be on the screen or in the same part of the map. And, you know, some of the pets are doing like 70 or 80 damage breath weapon attacks, like fireballs, right? So it's, you know, there's always that to hide behind, or numbers, or cheats. And I'm not saying that every player that I came across is cheating, but, you know, a lot of them are, and just because, and, you know, in the field over nothing, or it's kind of lame, right? Like, you know, I left some room open for people to be able to beat me just on a level playing field by using potions, you know, greater potions. I've pretty much just been using lesser potions because, you know, you either have to make your own kegs or you have to pay, like, exorbitant prices for the kegs. Like, there's no good vendors, and, you know, because people are cheating and stuff, you have to, like, rip through those potions and stuff. So they've got some economical issues that aren't being addressed, and I might have figured out why. So let's take a look here. I wanted to bring up one thing first. My pack horse died. Okay, what does that mean? I had a character named a pack horse, and on this server, you know, UOGamers Hybrid, they have rideable pack horses now. They added, which is really cool. You know, I think it's really awesome. You can hop off of your pack horse and open up the bag and use it. It's like 3 pet slots or something, right? It's like a beetle, you know, just reskinned pretty much. But, you know, you can use the rideable pack horse, and my character, a pack horse, had one of those, and so, you know, I was kind of running around with a runic bow, I did a couple of laps around Brick Graveyard with it, and then I kind of stashed it and brought out just a regular, Force Supreme or something. And, before I knew it, I was getting just, steamrolled by somebody with, lightning wands and everything out of nowhere, right? And it was Puka, and, I'm on a Scribe Dexer at the time. That's what Pack Horse is. And so I put on Reflect. I got like 16 circles of Reflect, and I've got a pretty fast connection. So while people are throwing potions at me, I'm kind of trying to off-screen and off-screening during their dumps, and then coming back and stuffing an arrow in their face or a spear. I've got a fencer that's also a scribe as well, and I've kind of been terrorizing the graveyard with it a little bit. Attacking people's pets, and there's not much they can do about it, and causing a commotion, causing a disturbance in regular gameplay, I guess. But yeah, I died because Puka, all of a sudden, in the middle of a dump, I'm trying to get off screen, and my health bar's at about half, and I might have made it away, but I lost connection, right? This time when I lost connection, it was a little different than, other times that I lost connection. Because I couldn't log back in. What do I mean? Well, I was basically getting this message that you either need to log into the character that's already logged in, or you need to wait for them to time out. And so I couldn't log back into that character. And I also couldn't log back into any other character, so I basically wasn't able to log in at all to that whole account until the server rebooted a couple of days later during server wars, which they never really gave a reason for why they added that, but it could be because these disconnects have been happening and I just haven't heard about it. I'm not exactly sure if anyone else had ever had this happen to them, but for me it just seemed a little bit weird that it was happening at all. Let me just take a look here. I know I've got a screenshot of this this account thing. Oh yeah, here it is right here. Open this up. So I was basically getting this message. Where is it now? Another character from this account is currently online in this world. You must either log in as that character or wait for it to time out. Right? So that character and every other character, I couldn't log in because I kept getting this message. And I've ran into this problem before once. Working on the pre-alpha client, a server for that, and basically the GitHub for the emulator I'm using at the time that this is, it's very basic, and it doesn't have anything for, you instantly log out as soon as you close your client. It doesn't matter if you're in combat. So I had to adjust it so that, if you're in combat, you're not going to be able to just log right out, right? And so while I was working on that, I ran into this problem because I set up the emulator the way that it disconnects incorrectly, right? And so, it either looks like one of two things is going on here. Something disconnected me in a way that the emulator didn't catch that, I was being disconnected from my client. So it thought that I was just logged in. And there's nothing I could do about that, right? The added server wars, they never really said anything about it, could be to fix this issue without, really causing a huge disturbance to everyone's gameplay, right? Because you have to reboot the shard to let that player log into that account again. It's a big problem, right? Like, when I ran into this, I was like, oh man, I can't even imagine if this ever happened to a player, right? So the staff's response was a little weird, and it kind of makes me feel like maybe they did add server wars or something like that because they're running into this problem and they don't know what's going on. What could be causing it? Well, it's hard to say. I don't know what's been causing all the disconnects on Hybrid on a good day, right? We've been diagnosing that for a while. And although, we've kind of made things a little bit more stable, it's really unstable. You just are getting disconnected all the time, right? And so, we're looking into that. But interestingly, I had a theory that it could be injection related. Somebody could have, injected a packet of the disconnect packet somehow toward my player, right? And you know, they injected some kind of disconnect packet towards me or something. Or maybe they were just injecting so many packets that it disconnected me from my client. Right? Injecting movement packets, or, you know, wand, get that wand equipped as fast as possible and get that lightning off as quick as possible kind of thing. Like maybe it's built into somebody's client that they're using, their client version, or whatever's going on there, right? You know, and or it could be something that, you know, a command, a special command or something that that the GMs made for their benefactors, right? Well, you can just disconnect any player you like. You just type, you know, disconnect command or something. I'm not saying that is what happened. I'm just trying to theorize, like, what could have possibly disconnected me that way. Because, you know, all these years that I've been playing, it's literally only ever happened to me once when I was doing that on the pre-alpha. I've never heard of anyone losing connection like this before. So, you know, but I'm a bit out of the loop on the cheats and stuff, because players don't like to share those around on a good day, and they're definitely not going to share them with me, right? Oh, check out this new client version. It's a new, you know, it's a new CUO version that I made where, you know, I can send these disconnect commands or something, right? I don't know. I don't know if that's what happened, but it was interesting to me because I was kind of testing for cheats at that time. You know, like I said, I grabbed that runic, and it wasn't a perfect runic, or I can't remember what the lineup is. Ash, whatever. I have all the different possibilities for runic bow, but the one that I brought out was just force plus GM, so it wasn't all that special, but it was clearly runic, because you can't hide the fact that it's a runic when it's a bow. Well, I guess anything, you know, it's going to take on the color if it's a metal weapon of the ore, but, you know, for a bow, it pretty much stands right out. Those ones are like light green or something, and so that was one thing, you know, I had to be suspicious just because of that. Also, it's the top PvPer, right, on that leaderboard who did it, right, or who may have done it, right, who I was fighting. Well, I got this crazy disconnect that's never happened to me in 20 or 30 years, but except for that one time on pre-alpha client. But anyways, you know, it didn't look bad. It didn't look good, and the optics are bad, and the GMs were kind of just vacant on that, you know. They never came around and addressed the issue at all, which was weird. But, you know, either way, accidents could happen, right? So it's hard to say. But these are the facts. This is what I was playing, and I got disconnected, and my pack horse got disconnected. And so I kind of made this video about what happened, and, you know, I'm happy to explain now that why I'm suggesting that there's some kind of weird optics with Aga and stuff like that. Because it's like, well, what was Aga doing? What was he trying to figure out? Was he trying to figure out if there are these commands? Or was he trying to log into, like, you know, a benefactor's account to see if they had access to some special commands? Or was he, you know, was he trying to log into a staff account to see if one of their player characters had, you know, higher stats than they should or something like that, right? It's hard to say, but Egg is a PvPer, right? So it stands to reason, you know, he may have been trying to fish the person on the leaderboard just ahead of him to see, you know, what kind of things that they have access to, or if their stats are proper, right? And so, you know, that's one thing that kind of makes sense to me, right? And so I kind of did some investigating on my own. But before I show you, before I tell you about the details of my investigation, let me show you this video really quickly about the pack horse dying. All right, check it out.
My saddle horse has died. And no one was in time to save him or to reach me with the news that I'm without a mount to ride. My saddle horse has died. My saddle horse has died. nothing can provide the slightest bit of reason to encourage me to go on in this life. My saddle horse has died. My saddle horse has died. With him goes my pride. For without a charging steed beneath me, I can hardly call myself a knight. My saddle horse has died. My saddle horse has died. My saddle horse has died. And I am sick inside, with thoughts of armies infidel attacking when I cannot join the fight. My saddle horse has died. I am sick inside, with thoughts of heathen victories unfolding when I have been left behind. My saddle horse has died.
Okay, welcome back. All right, I hope you enjoyed that video. Put a bit of effort into making it. That's my character there. He's got the top hat on and everything that they added there on Hybrid. I don't know where that top hat art came from, but it's pretty cool. And you know, anyways, so my pack horse died, and you know, there's some. I had kind of mentioned injection. I was kind of probing around in the Discord to see what I could figure out. And, you know, I brought up the AGA thing and everything, right? Those optics look bad. Now these optics look bad, and what's going on here, right? Like, okay. So let me show you what could be going on now. It's basically, you remember I showed you this. This was Ryan's player character, right? And he's got some really cool stuff on it. At the time that I basically, this is what happened here. Saw him in town. And inside his backpack, he had a rideable pack horse that was shrunken down, that you can shrink them down on UOGamers Hybrid. And so I killed him. Right? This is where I might have broken a rule here, because, you know, you're supposed to respect staff, even their player characters. I'll show you in a minute on the rules here, but I'll just show you right now. But like, I killed Ryan's character, right? Here's where the rules. Here's the rules, right? And this is this goes back to, you know, going to Ryan's house for dinner. This is the opening statement right here, right? I think I read this in my last video, but let's just take a look at it again. A statement from Ryan. It's a big flex. Just take a look. You know, we believe in the power of free expression. Okay, sure you do, right? To that end, here's the following guideline. You know, well, this rule set covers a wide range of scenarios you may encounter. Okay, they're talking about the combat rule set, the AOS stuff, maybe, and the UOR stuff combining. The core principle is simple: treat others with respect. If something feels wrong or questionable, it's best to avoid it. Right? So he's basically telling you, don't ask questions. Okay? If something feels wrong or questionable, oh, and also, you know, I don't think this is related, but then he says, if you wouldn't say something to someone's face in real life, don't say it in the game. Fair enough, right? I guess. But I don't think that really is related to what you were just saying about if something feels wrong or questionable, it's best to avoid it. Uh, right. So, you know, we're all adults. Don't spread negativity, as always. That's always in the rules on a free shard. You know, the negativity fallback. And then ultimately, we expect you to behave responsibly. If you're disruptive, you'll be removed. Okay? So it's a big flex. Don't ask questions. And then, you know, come down here to Rule C with the player and staff interaction. You know, at all times, use respect when interacting with a staff. You know, this includes their player characters. Okay. Do not attack staff characters when they're AFK. Attacking staff will result in punishment. Right? So there's no distinction between if it's a staff character or, you know, if it's their player character. It doesn't make any difference, right? Use respect, because it's you're going to Ryan's house for supper, all right? Anyways, so I kill this character in the game here. And, you know, part of that is that I got the pack horse, so let's take a look here. But you can see there's these bandages on the floor. And I'm going to show you a picture in a minute here. First off, though, there's the pack horse. So I got the pack horse, right? It's worth noting that, you know, my rideable pack horse actually, the way that my character did log out is that, you know, my character actually did log out from the game. But for some reason, the emulator still thought I was logged in. So my pack horse, my rideable pack horse, was saved by this, by that mechanic. So that's cool, but... You know, I could have lost my pack horse, and because my pack horse died, and then I got the GM's pack horse here now. So that's one thing, and that's really why I killed him, because I wanted that pack horse. But then I noticed that there was those bandages on the corpse. I couldn't carry them, right? I couldn't carry them to the bank. So why is that? Because there's 4,733 of them in his backpack. Plus, he had a full set of studded armor, a shield, a skinning knife. You know, the skinning knife was just regular. It was magic, but it was just indestructible. So it didn't have any special bonuses or anything. Just seemed like a regular skinning knife, pretty much, right? But he had all that stuff and these 4,733 bandages, right? It looks like he probably had 5,000 and he used some of them, or something, maybe, right? But how much strength do you need to carry that many bandages? Right? Okay, here's how weight works in Ultima Online. On UOGamers Hybrid specifically. And for most shards. A bandage, 10 bandages is 1 stone. So you just cut that last 3 off, and it's 473 stones. Well, there's problems there, you know? Because even if you had 120 strength, which is the maximum... I mean, I think you can get a little bit more from those rose petals of Trinsic, but I can't remember. But, you know, and there's fish. But still, like, you know, the guy's not, he didn't have any fish. You know, he didn't have any strength potions in his backpack. He just had all these bandages that you can't even normally put this much weight in your backpack, even if you had enough strength. Right? I think the maximum is under 473 stones for how much your backpack can even hold. So what does this mean? It means that, you know, he probably very likely set the amount of these bandages. He probably had less bandages, like a regular size stack, and then set the amount to 5,000 using GM commands. Which might make sense, right? You know, maybe he's doing some testing or something, right? And he, you know, increased his strength. But, you know, there's a test shard for that, right? You shouldn't be giving your player character more than 100 strength, man, on a live shard, right? It's not cool, right? So let's just hope that he was doing some testing or something, and that's why he had all these bandages, right? Must have been testing something on live for whatever reason, right? Well, okay. But then here's a screenshot of the next day. We got Sir Ryan and you out here at Great Graveyard. Looks like he's PvPing because Puka was out, and there was some PvP going on. And he's got trap pouches and greater potions. So that's, you know, that's what you have when you're PvPing, right? But also take a look at this, because this is interesting. These potions aren't stacked. Why aren't they stacked? they take the time to unstack them. You know, if you get your potions from a keg or from, you know, making them with a mortar and pestle, they stack automatically, right? Like, I'm trying to think of any situation where they don't stack automatically. Okay, they have a butler that's like worth 3 mil, Jarvis or something, and I think that's like a restock tool, and so maybe it doesn't, you know, stack your potions automatically. But I can't see that really, right? I haven't bought one because they're so expensive, but you know, I think it probably stacks potions. Let's just say, you know, maybe it doesn't though, right? I don't know for sure. So that could be it. But what's more likely is, again, you know, this is add total refresh. These are GM commands. And, you know, you just target your character and it puts it in your backpack. That might not stack the potions if you do it that way, right? So there's some problems with the economy. This could be why. You know, GM doesn't need to worry about, you know, buying potions. He can just make his own potions online. So that's weird. So that's something, you know, that kind of would kind of prove that maybe Ega had a point. Maybe he had a reason for wanting to log on some of these accounts to see what commands they had access to, right? Maybe benefactors can just add their own potions. Maybe they have command for that or something going on, right? Who knows? For Ega, a PvPer who just logs in looking for action and that's all he cares about, to be trying to fish for account information, well, maybe he just got to the point where it was like, it's not worth playing anymore because there's a lot of cheating. There doesn't seem to be any end in sight. It feels like people have more than 100 strength that I'm fighting, and you know, so it's just not worth playing anymore. But I wish that I could prove it or something, right? That I'm not just a pussy for not wanting to play here on hybrid, right? Well, the reality is, I think that, you know, the people that are playing hybrid, not everybody, like I said, there's a few people that are just PvPers looking for action on a level playing field, meaning that they're not cheating, they're just looking for, you know, some sparring, right? Someone to duel, someone to spar and feel. And, you know, but there still is, like, rampant cheating. And, you know, it goes from the top down, right? Look at what's going on in the world with the elitism and stuff like that, like class, you know, class issues in America and everything. Like, this is kind of, it's exactly like that, and it also was exactly like Siege Perilous. You know, Adamant placing his own house on the Shard, Ryan doing the same thing. You know, the Shard was really about Adamant, and you know, this is all about Ryan's apron and Ryan's mask, Ryan's Shard, and Ryan's family, and you know, going to Ryan's for supper, right? And you know, another similar thing between Siege Perilous and Hybrid is that, you know, aside from us all being 20 years older than when these shards came out, right? You know, where, like, I'm getting older too. I said, like, I understand, like, I would put a graveyard for my dog or something. I would put a grave or something for him at some point, right? I thought about it, and then I was like, ultimately, nah. But, you know, there was also the town killing, right? Adamant went crazy because people were killing in town. And he just was like, I gotta find, you know, the most cleverest way to end this from happening, right? He was like, I finally, and then he was like, I've solved town killing, you know? Not even close. Like, Ryan was basically he went the same way. Like, it was the same thing. He just, like, it was a personal battle between him and, you know, the town killer or whoever was killing in town, like, over, you know, probably getting disconnected too many times or whatever, right? Like, it's bound to happen, right? Like, you know, Ryan went nuts. You know, he's adding all kinds of safe area, all kinds of trammel stuff, right? It's the tramification of the shard, and maybe dudes just get old and it's hard to run a Felucca shard, right? Maybe we age out of being able to run a decent Felucca shard or something. We can't do it without the favoritism or, you know, changing all the mechanics for the orcs or changing all the mechanics for the, you know, Salus users or whatever it is, right? Like, right now, if you go into hybrid and you're trying to, you know, Noto PvP, like you come into town gray and you try and get someone to fight you around Brit Bank, you're going to run into all kinds of invisible walls there because there's this safe area stuff going on extending outside of the bank. And, you know, players are trying to say, like, Ryan, this is dumb, you know, don't do this. Bank only area, you know, maybe just the roof, right? You know, but they're just not getting through, right? And they weren't getting through to Adamant either. And they were like, you know, just relax about it, right? It's just a little town kill, you know. If you try to fight it, it just gets worse usually, right? Like, and, you know, you also have to treat your players with respect, so they don't want to do that to you, right? Like, you can go the Outlands way, and you can become a Tram, and you can Tramify the shard and have a Trammel dungeon and Trammel safe areas everywhere, and you know, but you know that's not what players are coming to your shard for, right? They're coming for Felucca, so you know, I got muted, right? I got muted from UOGamers Hybrid. I think my mute is just about over in a few hours here now, and it was a week mute, week on multiple levels, but for 1 week in time. And, you know, after, basically what happened was I called out somebody who has always been a supporter of the Outlands shard. It's the best shard I've ever played, and, you know, pumping out videos and streams for the shard, and, you know, obviously it seems like he's getting money from it. Not just because, you know, of the streaming, right? But he's probably getting some money from the shard revenue as well. It's hard to say. But for somebody to say it's the best shard ever, like it's the best shard I've ever played, and it's all trammed out, and I basically think that Outlands is false advertising. Because they say they're a Felucca shard, but they're not if they have Trammel dungeons, right? Like, they're not if they have Trammel, you know, events like CCC where nobody can attack you unless you're involved in the event, or... you know, all these Trammel mechanics that they've got there, and it stems from the fact that the GM is not only super bossy and needs to get his way about everything, in my opinion, but he also has never really played Felucca. He's not a Felucca player. He's not like Aga, right? Aga's a Felucca player. Aga could run a Felucca shard if, you know, he wanted to do that instead of just PvPing all the time. But, you know, when it comes to like somebody like Owen, well, he's only ever played Sphere Shards. He's never GM'd a character skills, and he's only ever played a Trammel, right? Like, but yet he has to have his way for every change, especially in PvP, and it's all favoritism moves. It's all, you know, everyone just is like so tired of it, right? Like, so I wanted to show you this other video to show you kind of what I'm talking about, and so take a look at this. It's just a short music video that somebody made. Somebody named Bile or something. I'm not sure if Bile made it or if somebody made it about Bile, but here, take a look at this.
Now everybody from the 313, put your motherfucking hands up and follow me. Everybody from the 313, put your motherfucking hands up. Look. Now while he stands tough, notice that this man did not have his hands up. This free world's got you gassed up. Now who's afraid of the big bad wolf? 1, 2, 3 into the 4. 1 pop, 2 pop, 3 pop, 4. 4 pop, 3 pop, 2 pop, 1. Your pop, he's pop, no pop, none. This guy ain't no motherfucking MC. I know everything he's about to say against me. I am white, I am a fucking bum. I do live in a trailer with my mom. My boy Future is an Uncle Tom. I do got a dumb friend named Cheddar Bob who shoots himself in his leg with his own gun. I did get jumped by all 6 of you chumps. And Wink did fuck my girl. I'm still standing here screaming fuck the free world. Don't never try to judge me, dude. You don't know what the fuck I've been through. But I know something about you. You went to Cranbrook, that's a private school. What's the matter, dog? You embarrassed? This guy's a gangster? His real name's Clarence. And Clarence lives at home with both parents. And Clarence's parents have a real good marriage. This guy don't want to battle, he's shook. Cause ain't no such things as halfway crooks. He's scared to death, he's scared to look at his fucking yearbook. Fuck Cranbrook. Fuck a beat, I go a cappella. Fuck a Papa Doc, fuck a clock, fuck a trailer, fuck everybody. Fuck y'all if you doubt me. I'm a piece of fucking white trash, I say it proudly. And fuck this battle, I don't want to win, I'm outie. Here, tell these people something they don't know about me.
Right, so he's never played on Feluca Shard, and that's the whole point, right? Like, people are like, you know, you're Tram, just be quiet. But, you know, he's like, oh, well, I'm just gonna get you kicked out of your guild now, and like, a girl threaten your whole guild, we'll get banned. Because, you know, he wants to have his way, right? And he wants to be right about Feluca when he's always not. It never is. Like, you know, so I called out this, you know, I love Outlands. This is the best shard ever, you know. Well, I'm trying to be like, come on, guys, they're false advertising. People paid him money for 5 years and then they're delivering a different product. It's not okay. Like, right, you know. I tried to bring up a dialogue when I saw this player had joined Hybrid. It's like, geez, who let this guy in here? We don't need this right now. The shard's already being tramified because Ryan's too old. But then, you know what? Here he comes in and he didn't say anything. But then I got attacked. I got attacked by this Blixard. Blixard fits the profile for somebody who we call Rube. He's a Rube. And Rube was somebody who, on the Sega's Discord channel, was upset when I was bringing up, you know, don't tramify the shard, you know, it's just going to be trammel. Don't, you're saying it's Feluca. You're saying it's based on DFI, Defiance. But then you're talking about all this trammel stuff, and it's like, ugh, shouldn't be doing that, right? We don't want to have, like, all the, you know, good old Feluca nostalgia getting swallowed up by Tram actors, right? We just don't need that. And, you know, this Rube was like, just kick him out of here. Like, I either had to be muted or banned for Rube to stay in the channel, right? And who's Rube? Well, Rube, who knows? But they were somebody who was really supportive of Sagas. Like, Sagas GMs, you guys are the best, and like, you're doing so good, and like, this is the coolest shard ever, you know? Just constant barrage of, you know, bootlicking, basically. That's Blixard in a nutshell. It just, Ryan, you're the best GM ever, and you're so great at this, and, you know, you're doing so well. Like, keep it up all the time. And if anyone ever says anything, like, slightly critical, Blixard, like, jumps on them in Ryan's defense. And, you know, maybe Ryan enjoys that or something, or maybe it is Ryan, right? It's hard to say, right? But, you know, and he's just all blowing himself up. Like, who knows? I think he's capable of doing that, personally, but it could also just be a Rube, because here's what happened. As soon as I said something bad about Outlands, here comes Rube, aka Blixard, you know, same profile, right? Attacking me for the anti-Outlands sentiment, the negative sentiment about Outlands. Not just attacking me, but like straight up cussing and swearing out of nowhere, right? On the basis, I guess, that this is a new player, but, you know, if you just scroll up in that Discord, you'll see multiple examples of me trying to be helpful to new players, explaining, you know, how to set up Razor hotkeys, where things are in Razor, and et cetera, et cetera. I think there was at least like 2 or 3 new players in the last 48 hours before this happened that I had been helping. So the being rude to a new player or something angle just didn't fit, right? It was the anti-Outland sentiment that they really were upset about. And then all of a sudden, I was muted, right? I just got attacked. I'm getting dogpiled on, you know, by all the noobs, the pussies in there that can handle the Aga. And it can barely handle me with lesser potions. And then, like, you know, they're all pouncing on, oh, Guardian, you know, pouncing on Guardian bad, just mute him, just get him out of here, right? And then I'm muted. It's, you know, the GM's front-running harassment against people. It's not okay, right? Something I was against before Hybrid, before this happened. And, you know, it seemed like they probably did the same thing to Aga, right? That's what Trust was. It was just the GM front-running harassment against Aga. And he can't speak for himself either because he's permanently banned. Ha 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 ha. Right? It's just immature. Like, you can't run Feluca if you're going to be behaving like this. And that's just how it is, right? Maybe there's been some okay, decent action on Hybrid, but far and few between. It's just not worth it. I'm just getting disconnected too many times. I've had to reconnect so many times. It's just not worth it, even with a script. So, you know, I mean, I got to where Aga was and figured things out, I think, you know, but you be the judge, right? Is it safer? Is it a scam? Well, it's not for me to say. Like, it's up for you to decide. And how you feel about that. And, you know, all I can do is give you the facts, right? So these are the facts. It looked like Ryan had more strengthening shit on his player character on the live shard, for sure. You know, I definitely had that weird disconnect that I've never had in 30 years, except for in one special circumstance, ever. Or I wouldn't have ever known why that happened, or how that happened, right? And, so, maybe it just happened to the wrong person. Now it's exposed that there's some kind of weird disconnect thing going on. Maybe GMs are involved or not. They could have set up server wars because they're not, and they don't know what to do. It's hard to say. But, you know, when they happened to me, I really didn't get any response from admins at all. It seemed like Ryan might have been out of town at a concert or something. Bad optics, right? And so I felt like I pretty much had to share that with you guys. So stay tuned. I got another video here coming up in just a few days, and it's the season 2 finale. So, you know, I'm going to be talking about New Legacy. I'm going to be talking about Lord British and EA and stuff like that. And it's a video that I've been planning for a long time. Like, I've got a lot of resources and stuff to show you. And I think it'll, you know, it'll kind of explain Ultima a little bit more. Just some people who may not understand the title and you know what it's all about, and what Lord British is really all about, who he is. So stay tuned. I've got some really cool information. And thanks for watching.